They'd say, Grandma, said, tell us a story. Said, tell us about this when you was a little girl and when you was growing up. Tell us about the times you had to pick beans and you had to help your mom make garden. Tell us about the times you used to make homemade kraut in a big old barrel. And tell us about the times that you used to smoke meat in them smokehouses. And Mama was delighted to tell all kinds of old stories like that.
She was?
Oh yeah, she liked to tell. She'd sit back and just she didn't smoke or she didn't chew, but she could sit back and tell stories a bit as good as anybody. Them old stories.
So that was your great grandma. Was she a medicine woman?
Well, my great grandma, she could heal. Yeah, she was a type of a medicine woman. People come to her. A lot of times when kids had a breaking out in their mouth, they called it a thrash, and there wasn't nobody back then knew how to heal it. But my grandma would take them to the spring, and she would take her shoe off, and she'd get some water in her shoe, and she would kind of shake it around in her shoe, and she'd give them kids a drink of that water out of her shoe, and it would cure the thrash. They'd have sores in their mouth. And a lot of people came. My mom said a lot of people would come and she would give them babies a drink of water out of her shoe.
Now that was your grandma?
That was Grandma Six Killer. She married my grandpa Jim Paget, but she was a Six Killer, and she was kin to Ned Christie, the outlaw that they killed.
How was she kin?
They were Ned Christie had married. He had married into the family. He had married her sister,
Annie.
She had married the Six Killer, one of the Six Killer girls. I don't remember which one it was.
I think Grandma told me it was Annie.
But he was in the family, and they said he was a good man, minded his own business, worked hard, good man. Somebody stole his cow, and then when he went after him and he got his cow, then he had trouble with them people, and I think he killed the man that stole his cow. I'm not really sure about that, but anyway, after that happened, they said the laws started tracking him. He came back home, and that was away over in Arkansas where he found his cow. They sent a cannon from Fort Smith over here to Ned Springs, where they call Ned Springs, over here just north of Walhalla. It's a little community west of Stilwell, between Stilwell and Tahlequah. Walhalla. He had a cabin up there, a dugout in the side of a mountain, and he had a cabin built on top, but he had it also kind of like a basement, faced to south. And they came up there and brought a cannon. They couldn't get him out. They came up there and shot, a lot of ammunition, and he seen one of the logs at a pretty good distance. All he could see was the heel of his boot. Yeah, one time when the laws came to they tried dynamite, they tried everything to blow him out of his cabin, and he was dug in pretty good, and he had a Winchester rifle, and all he could see of one of those logs was he's down behind a tree, and all he could see was a heel of his boot, and he shot that guy's heel off with his rifle.
And that's all he could see? That's
all he could see. They said, and my grandpa told that story. He said he had talked to Ned, and he said he'd go over there and spend the night with Ned.
Oh, really?
Ned Christie. Yeah, my grandpa did.
Which
Oh,
grandpa?
Grandpa Paget.
Oh.
Liza's husband, Grandpa
Jim,
Paget.
James.
Jim, my mama's grandpa. Daddy,
Oh.
I mean. My mama's daddy. He said that and when he came through that part of the country, he'd stay all night with them. He'd just come in and stay all night with them. He said he was a good man. He said the law enforcement and the people, you know, I guess after he shot this guy or whatever for stealing his cow, he just went bananas. So, but they brought the cannon. They brought that cannon from Fort Smith, and they brought it up there and blowed his cabin up with them cannon.
Yeah.
And years later, there's some guys down there on that mountain found some cannonballs that they found up there digging around that old cabin.
Have you been up there?
I know where it's at. I never have been there. I know where it's at. I know where the hill that his cabin was set on. But I never did actually get over there and walk around where it was at. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because you said he went bananas.